So I wanted to take a sec and go over the hidden reason why incredibly talented people fail at content, because it's actually a lot simpler, but also more complex than a lot of people think. And I say this as someone that's been around dozens of people, all of whom are making tens of thousands of dollars plus, super massive audiences. And what's important is that a lot of the people that succeed in content are not actually the most talented people at doing whatever it is that they are doing. The people that succeed in content, they have one trait that incredibly talented people actually go and shut down themselves because it's the way that they even become talented in the first place. Now, if you're thinking overthinking, then that is the trait. Because incredibly talented people, in order to become a master at something, they end up going and spending a lot of time hyper-analyzing themselves, asking what could be better, what could be better, what could be better. And in order to get them to that place of talent, of mastery, whatever skill that you might have, it could be healing, it could be archery, it could be copywriting, it could be any skill really, when you're in the mode of analysis that will improve you, that in and of itself can be one of the largest blockers to successfully posting content. Now, it's also a needed element of being able to successfully post content, but the reason why most incredibly talented people that I know, and perhaps that you know, or perhaps you're even an incredibly talented person yourself watching this video, the reason that you might not have started content already is because you're always thinking of how do I make it perfect? How do I reach that same perfection so that I'll have the same level of appearance of mastery over this art form, content, that you do in whatever it is that you've become an expert in? And the thing is that same belief structure is the exact thing that can prevent you from posting content and being incredibly successful in it because you're still in that mode of overthinking. Because in order to really go and translate your expertise into the internet, where it's going to build you a business, where it's going to go and attract you aligned clients, where it's going to attract you aligned people that you can form a community with and actually experience like the soul tribe phenomena through the internet, then in order for you to do that, the part of you that's overthinking and trying to be perfect at content from the first go, that needs to die. Because that part you cannot take with you wanting to be an expert at something immediately and actually becoming an expert in that thing. Because whatever it is that you have talent or expertise in, right? If you approached that art needing to be perfect in it the first time, then you would have never gotten perfect at it later. You need to be willing to fail. I want to give you an analogy. This analogy I find is very helpful for my clients when they start to post content and realize why you need to be able to post content that is not up to the highest level of standards that you could go. Because everybody sees content creators, and it's like our phones are portals to this, what I like to call a swimming pool. And we see all these people in it splashing around, having a good time, say, oh, I just came from this pool, I just got back from Bali, now I'm here in the pool, you can see me. And it's like everybody that is on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, we're all in the stands, we're just watching. We're seeing, and these people seem to live such amazing life, and they make it so easy. They splash around, they swim a little bit, maybe they do like a synchronized dance with some other people, you know? And then they go and walk off and go back to living their amazing life and driving off in a supercar or whatever they are, right? Going off and living that life, whatever your dream life is, it's highly likely that you've seen something similar on the internet, right? And so we see that and we're like, oh, that doesn't look that hard. I could go and do that. I could go and splash around in a pool for a bit, look like I'm having fun, say whatever it is that I'm an expert in, maybe tell people some things. And you're right, you could. You certainly could, but the problem is, in this pool, is most people are deathly afraid of the water. Because the water is all of the emotion, all of the worry, all of the anxiety, all of the fear that you've put in how are others going to perceive me. That's the water. And most people, they don't want to step foot in it. They worry, oh, if I look foolish, then I'm going to lose clients. Maybe someone won't like me. Maybe my family members or my friends are going to think of me differently. And the thing is, they might. But that mindset, the people that are successful at content and why your talent may be stopping you from actually going and taking the first steps and letting yourself be successful at this, people that are successful, they realize that the question they need to ask themselves is not what are people going to think, but how do I make them think? How do I actually go and get somebody to listen to what it is that I'm saying? Because everybody that posts content knows that it's both easier and also more difficult than most people give themselves credit for, than most people think. Because in order to succeed in this, you're going to really, the way you learn anything is through trial and error. Through going and trying, maybe it's not your best. And the problem is there's no way to go and jump in this pool, go and do an awesome dance or say something impressive, right? Unless you're comfortable in the water. Until you just let yourself flow with it. Until you realize that it's not going to kill you. But most people, because they feel like if they go and show themselves as producing anything less than their imagined higher self capabilities, they're going to feel like they're not that person. But that feeling of dissonance will collapse as soon as you start to do it. As soon as you start to bring yourself actually closer in resonance to being that being that is comfortable on camera. Because this is the new frontier. You know, we may not be in time to go and go explore a new land yet, but right now there is a whole frontier of the internet, of the fourth dimension, that you can go and claim for yourself. Before AI can go and do it for you, send out the robot scouts to go and make personal brands for everybody, that is going to come. But right now is we are in the window for being able to actually create this. So you need to be able to dip your toe in the water. And you need to stop thinking that you're going to come out of the gates producing content that looks like cinematic or that is perfectly edited, or even more so, perfectly communicated. Because communication is an art and a skill that you learn by doing it. If I go back and look at my reels from 2 years ago, or my TikToks from 2 years ago, they're not going to be as well spoken. They're not going to be as well communicated as I am right now. And that's natural. But the thing is, the thing that will bring you actually closer to this resonance is allowing yourself to create. And then as you create, if you want to be actually successful, you need to internalize and learn, why do people even pay attention to anything in the first place? Because although the people that you see online, and probably myself as well, I make it look easy, because the structures that actually contain people's attention, they're subconscious. They're things that you weren't taught in school. They're elements of copywriting, marketing, psychology, and actually giving people what is it that they're desiring. And if you're still in the mindset of needing to prove something to the world through your content, you're never going to be able to do it. You can never fully be the person with the most followers or the greatest industry leader. There's always going to be more. There's always going to be someone that is doing a higher volume than you, but that's okay. You don't need to compare yourself to those people that have 10 years of experience swimming in this pool and living an awesome life and getting paid handsomely for it. You don't need to. You just need to compare yourself to the version of yourself that you were. Because for a lot of people that I've talked to, especially with my clients and also the people close to me, I see that people will be thinking, I'd say over 50% of people that I talk to, at some point in their life have this idea they're going to become a content creator. But maybe 1% of those people ever actually post. Even if I tell them all of the secrets, most people don't do it because that water is so terrifying to them. Because they're afraid if they actually step in, then you know what would happen? Then they would realize they don't know how to swim. They would realize that they actually do have some things to learn. But if you actually allow yourself to stop overthinking and just create, because the smartest people often do not have the largest personal brands. It's the people that just decide, oh, hey, I want a personal brand. Let me go and post videos. Let me post a lot of videos. And those people end up being extremely successful. Extremely. Because volume is the real thing that will allow you to go and really improve the skill of creating content. Because it is an art form. There are many things that you need to learn. Even if you just want to make simple talking videos like this, there's many things that you're going to need to internalize about what is this version of yourself that can actually communicate effectively. What do you believe in? What is different from you than everybody else? How do you stand out? How do you go and do something that is actually going to get people's attention and stop the scroll, to make people feel something? These are all questions that you're going to figure out as you do it. And again, if you need help answering any of these questions, I have a mentorship program and you're welcome to apply for it down below. But the question is are you going to allow yourself to actually not show up as the perfect version that you want to be, but just show up as you are? And that's what's going to make all the difference. Because when you can allow yourself to realize that you're actually good enough as you are, that you do have things that could help somebody else, that you do have things that you could share that will improve not only your circumstances of living, but somebody else's, that's when you have gold inside. So let yourself already do the alchemy. Transform what's around you into this gold that you have inside, and watch as it starts to come back outside your life. But it is a process. Nobody really goes and posts one video and suddenly has $1 million in their account, or even 10. It's a process, and until you've really learned the skills of what you're doing, you're going to overthink this process. So honestly, the best thing that you can do if you want to start is allow yourself to create, allow yourself to go and learn the process, and then when you're ready, go and learn from somebody that is doing the business model that you would like to do. Because nobody, no matter how much money you pay them, is going to go and get you more comfortable in the water until you start to dip your toes in. And that's why extremely talented people have such a hard time succeeding in content, is because they think, oh, for me to dip my toes in, I need to be an expert. But nobody ever became an expert in swimming before they started jumping in the water. So hey, this is your sign. Go and allow yourself to really communicate your expertise. Show up on camera, even if you don't like the way you look or sound or anything, just show up on camera because you can. And then post it, and if it's a bad video, nobody's gonna see it. So you really don't have much to worry about. And if you would like some help really like putting some rocket fuel on this journey and getting my personal help to go and help you grow your personal brand and build you a solo-line business, then go fill out the link below and I will see if you're a good fit. And if so, we'll be in contact. Aloha.